here. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's time for coffee chat. All right, let me get over to YouTube and make sure that we put our troll shields up. And then we will get started with coffee chat. Good morning. Good morning. I know I wasn't late today, which is really surprising because I had to run a bunch of errands this morning. I had to take Andrew to the body shop for the truck, and then I had to take him to get a rental car, and then I had to pick up my car this morning, and then it was a whole thing this morning, and I actually showed up on time. Whereas most mornings I get up and I'm just hanging with Laurel, and then I'm yeah, it was over a month ago. A lady cut into his lane. She was taking a left-hand turn and just completely plowed into the side of the truck. It wasn't a bad accident, but she completely I think we have to get the whole bed, the bed replaced on the truck. But I mean, it's been drivable and stuff, so it's not it wasn't a thing. It sucked, but we finally got the insurance. She claimed she knew she was at fault, and we finally got it into the body shop. So, but they gave him a Toyota Corolla. He was on the phone with the insurance company I can't take packages to the post office in this thing. That was the conversation when I left. I'm okay, I'm going to go do coffee chat now. Good luck. It's pretty funny to see him behind this little Toyota Corolla to go from this big Dodge Ram. And then he's do. It's really funny. So he was on the phone with the insurance company when I left. Hopefully they can get him into something bigger, because you guys know we have quite a few packages that need to go to the post office, and I don't think they're fitting in that. So anyway, I did get my car back, so that's exciting. And it was funny. We said something to the guy. I'm okay, well, it's been in the shop twice already. It's not even a year old. Do you think we're gonna have any more issues? And he just kind of smirked. He was well, I mean, I was oh, okay, great. So there's more to come. All right, so we're going to get started today. It's Tuesday, which is coffee chat here on Niknax.net, which is our morning chat about what's happening on the marketplace, our milestones, what we've accomplished as a community. Very exciting. I just have to pull up my notes so that I can stay on topic, because I'm usually all over the place if I don't have notes. Unfortunately, Christina has gotten me very focused on notes. She's okay, here's the notes. Make sure you stay on topic. Good morning. Good morning, Christina. I see I've got notes that are just waiting for me. All right, so how about those paperweights, everybody? Did you have fun? Were they amazing? Did we have fun with paper? Yes. Good. Yeah. Paperweights. Woohoo. Yes. Paperweights. Yay. Another successful paperweight extravaganza. Fantastic. That was awesome. That was crazy. And it was so much fun. I think in addition to our live sellers, just knocking it out of the park, I know that our buy it now sellers were making tons of sales, because it was nuts. I feel as a marketplace, it was an awesome weekend. We had a lot of community members in the chats engaging, and it was just a really fun, cool weekend. Christina says about 1,400 paperweights were sold in live sales alone. That's a lot of paperweights. That is a lot of paperweights. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much for participating in the event, whether you were there to just hang out in the chat or purchase paperweights or sell paperweights. I think it was an amazing event, and we're probably going to do it again at some point. Yes, we hit 30,000 members. Yeah. So we gained 461 members since last Tuesday. 461 members. Niknax is up to 30,414 members now. So we're almost to 31,000. That's pretty awesome. We're almost there. Maybe by next coffee chat, we could just really push it and we could be at 31,000 members. So welcome to all of our new members. Welcome to Niknax. I'm not sure if the paperweights brought you here, but we're very happy to have you. There are more paperweights if you want to browse the buy it now listings. They are still pinned to the homepage. Lots of paperweights. So it's not technically over yet because I've yet to update the homepage, and you can find all the paperweights right there. Right there. So, all right, we have 14 new sellers. So our seller count is up to 3,646 sellers. I am continuing to add sellers. Some weeks I had tons, some weeks I had like a few. As a reminder, the wait time varies as far as getting approvals or rejections. It really depends on what you include in your application. I always tell you, if you include all the right information, you're probably going to get approved faster. Oh, we got a raid. Who raided us? Welcome, raiders. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you include all the right information into your application, you're probably going to be a little bit more quick to get approved versus if you just put like antiques and that's all you put. I'm going to be like, and and what else do you do? Are you new to selling antiques? Have you been selling antiques for 20 years? Like, it just leaves so many questions that I look at the application and I'm like, okay, what's the next one say? And the next one has a link, and the next one says, I'm new to selling antiques, but I really am like gung-ho about it and I'm excited. And I'm like, that's an application that I'm going to give some attention to. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something to keep in mind, that like the more you put into your application, the more attention I'm going to give to it. So if you are applying for Niknax to be a seller, like put some effort in, like give it some effort. Because if I see effort in the application, I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know what? If they're putting this much effort into their application, I think they're going to put this much effort into being a seller on Niknax. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking anyway. That's what I'm thinking. Please see the pics I sent. Okay, well that's cool. That's cool. I actually have to get over onto the Niknax profile and start going through those. So, all right. Let's see. We have 88,300 listings. That's a lot. There's 2,000 more listings since last Tuesday. And as I've said before, those listings kind of like go up and down depending on like what's sold, depending on who's on vacation. But we've grown 2,000 since last week, and that's exciting. That's exciting. All right, Mainly Made. We had a really fun event on Friday, and I hope that everybody had a good time for our very first Create Out of the Box event. I think it was a success. I think that it was a lot of fun. Essentially, what we did was the previous Handmade market, Christina and I sold some mystery crafting boxes to some of our creatives here on Niknax /Mainly Made, and they had to wait a whole month to open these boxes and then create something based on the prompt that was in the box. And so I think that they nailed it. So if you want to go over to Mainly Made, there is a chat channel where the artist posted their creations. They only had an hour to craft something using only the items in the box, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun to see how everybody interpreted it differently and what they came up with. So we should probably do that again because it was lots of fun. But yes, so we had 44 new members on Mainly Made since last Tuesday, to a total of 1,938. That's pretty exciting. There are 376 sellers on Mainly Made. That's 6 new sellers. I did reject a few sellers on Mainly Made if they included in their application that they wanted to sell antiques and vintage. They received a rejection that they're on the wrong marketplace. So if you applied to Mainly Made and that was a mistake, like if you meant to say you are wanting to sell handmade, you can reapply. Otherwise, you probably meant to apply over on Niknax. So keep that in mind. And I will continue to approve sellers on both platforms, but I'm just keeping an eye on how the marketplace is performing and approving applications as I see the performance of the marketplace. Fantastic. See, there you go. And as a reminder to all of our sellers on Mainly Made and who have joint you're in both marketplaces. You can go live and bounce between the two marketplaces. You can have a train that goes between the two marketplaces, and you can steal members from Niknax. Yeah, you can joint citizenship. How's that? If you have citizenship of both marketplaces, you can create a train that kind of bridges the marketplaces. And if you can just get somebody to comment on Mainly Made, they're automatically made a member. So it's kind of like kidnapping. We've been through this before. Yeah, dual citizenship. There we go. Dual citizenship. Thank you, Drunk Susie. You know, it's early. I've had 1 cup of coffee. I'm getting there. Okay, so Mainly Made has 2,600 listings. That's 100 new listings since last week. Pretty impressive. That's what you guys are here for. Absolutely. I think every week you guys are like, this is the word you're looking for, Jocelyn. This is the word. I don't know what I would do otherwise. So a reminder to everybody to go and check out Mainly Made, our sister marketplace to Niknax that is all handmade. All handmade. The holidays are coming. You know, those handmade gifts, I feel like they're a lot more sentimental. They go a long way. So go and check out Mainly Made. The address for that is district.net/Mainly Made. And that's how you get there. Let's get to 2,000 members because there's only 62 more to go. So if we could get to 2,000, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, so let's get to our items of interest here. Our events. Oh, we already went through that. Create out of the box and the paperweight extract. That was what I talked about first. So yay! What a crazy weekend that was. We had lots of fun. I hope it was wild. It was a wild, fun weekend. Kudos and reminders. Yes, community support has been absolutely amazing. Especially, we saw a lot of that over the weekend. Just everybody encouraging everybody, just riding the paperweight train, even popping into sales outside of the paperweight train, because I was jumping in and out of sales, not necessarily just on the paperweight train, but like all over the place. You might not have seen me because I was in the background. I think I startled a few people. They didn't know I was in there. And then I'd comment and they're like, oh, hi, Jocelyn. Hi. Good to see you here. Because I'm creeping, but not in a bad way. I don't like to interrupt. I feel like I come in and it's like, oh, boss lady's here. It's like, it's a thing. And so like, that's why I'm like in the background. It's not like it's not meant to be like a thing. It's not like that. It's just like, I'm just going to creep around in the back. So everybody had an awesome weekend. Lots of really fun sales. As a reminder, if you are out on the marketplace, maybe you're just popping in. And you see somebody has a sale and they only have like 3 people in there. Maybe they're not even selling something you'd be interested in, but you see they only have 3 people in their sale. Like, I would always encourage you guys to just pop in, check out what they have, maybe throw them some, like encouragement, because I know it can be discouraging when you're trying to have a sale and there's not really a whole lot of people in there. And I say that every week, But it's so true. It's so true. And I mean, I try to do that. I'll pop into a sale and, hey, and I try to boost when I see that happening in sales. But I mentioned this last week, that that if you are on an Android, I cannot boost you. So if you are on Android, I cannot post you to our Facebook. It's not to, like, it doesn't let me. I can't do it. So and I can sometimes I realize somebody's on an Android because I go to boost you and it won't work. And I'm at least sometimes I'll try it 3 times before it occurs to me. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, they must be on an Android. And it won't work. Yes, Christina mentions the other thing, I can't boost you if you are playing music, because I have had some videos taken down off of Crazy Lamp Lady because they have been hit with copyright strikes, because music has been playing in the background. So specifically live streams from Niknax that we've shared, and Facebook has picked up on music playing in the background of those live streams, and they've been pulled down. So if you're playing music in the background, we cannot boost your sale. So if we hear music in the background, we won't boost it. And if you're having a sale and then you start playing music, we'll probably pull it down like midstream, like just from Facebook, like not end your sale on Niknax, but like if we're boosting it, we'll probably end the boost. Just so, yeah, that's perfectly fine. If you're playing non-copyrighted music, it's not a big deal, but you should probably say that like, if you see us pop in, you can maybe mention that you're playing not copyrighted music, so we know, so that we could maybe boost you, because otherwise we don't know. We're just like, oh, they're playing music, we can't boost, because we're a little paranoid about that, because I did lose monetization on Facebook, which was kind of scary. So now we're just a little bit more paranoid about that. A little bit more paranoid. All right. So there was that. Also, if you are popping into live sales, if you're hanging out, I want to remind you guys to try to stay on topic. Try to stay on topic. Try to like stick with the theme of the sale. If somebody's selling paperweights, try to, keep the conversation on paperweights. Try to stay on topic. Sometimes the conversations stray to other things that maybe make people in the comments uncomfortable. There were a few discussions in some sales over the weekend that I got messages about because people were uncomfortable. So let's just like try to keep everybody in their comfort zone. Just keep people comfortable. That means like things that aren't like triggering to people, because sometimes things can be triggering. So example, I'm trying to think of a non-specific example to what happened. Don't. Are you telling me not to? Are you like specific? No, it's not. Yes, that is like the most obvious example, but that's not really what I'm talking about. But yes, politics, religion, sex, those are all like the things you don't talk about at the family gatherings. And the same should be said about the sales. But there was a conversation. Okay, I'll just say it. There was a conversation in one of the live sales. It was brought up in the chat about pimple popping, and it made some people in the chat uncomfortable, and the numbers started dropping, and I got some messages about it, and it was like, it wasn't the fault of the seller. It was brought up in the chat, and then the conversation turned because, people like started talking about it. And that was just one example. There were some other conversations that like, but I got a message about it, and I can understand how some people could be bothered by that. Obviously, I can see some in the chat with the throw up faces. Yeah. So some people could be bothered by that. So we just have to be careful about what we're talking about. I mean, the obvious ones are politics, religion, and things like that. But yes, Charlene, left field topic, something unexpected, but that's, that's unrelated to paperweights. So it's just not something. Yes. Yeah. So we just have to make sure that if we are engaging in the chat, we try. I mean, like, yeah, it's okay to like let's talk about what we did today. You know, I did this. I went and dropped Andrew off at the body shop with the truck. You know, like that's fine. But but let's make sure that we're not talking about certain triggering topics like that. Because it can derail an entire show. And when the numbers start dropping, you know, that affects the seller. And we don't want to affect the sellers either, you know, because then then you know, they could potentially lose out on sales, and we don't want that. We want everybody to succeed here. So just be careful about conversations in the chat, you know. And that wasn't the fault of our seller. It wasn't our, but it's hard to ignore, you know, if you're having a sale and you see a conversation happening, you can't ignore that. You're like, what are we talking about? What? Oh, well, let me put in my 2 cents on that, you know? So yeah, it's a hard one to ignore. So anyway, enough about that. I've derailed our chat somewhat. I see my numbers dropping actually. So let's continue. Yeah, yay to me. This is Christina writing in my notes. Yay to me for posting on TikTok. You know, I haven't posted on TikTok in days. I'm like, last week, I'm like, I'm going to post every single day. And now I'm like, I posted 4 days in a row. And I'm like, this is hard. I don't know if I like this. Because when I post on TikTok and then like a day later, I post the same thing on Instagram, I get like 40,000 views on Instagram and I get like 2,000 on TikTok. And I'm like, why? Why am I trying so hard on TikTok when I'm getting like 40,000 views on Instagram? It's like, I'm going to keep trying though. I'm going to keep trying, just maybe not daily content on TikTok because it's frustrating. But it's a different monster, different demographic, and I will figure it out because I will try my best. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you gotta get on that TikToks. I do have to build it. You're right. I have to build it up. And that's, you know, their algorithm is weird because one day I'll get like 12,000, 17,000 views. And then the next day it's like 800. And I'm like, why? What? Okay. Everybody has been better about titling their shows, about thumbnails. But as a reminder, if you missed last week's coffee chat, you know, it makes a really big difference. And this is just like a tip, but it makes a really big difference when you're posting your sales. If your thumbnails include like what you're selling, you know, to get people to click into your live sales, a photo of the items that are going to be sold in your sale. Also in your title, like what you're selling as well. So that was a tip from last week. I feel like we've had a better we've been doing better about that. But I just wanted to remind everybody that like if you know, maybe you're struggling with live sales, that could definitely be helpful if you you know, you're switching up your thumbnails, trying other things out, because when people come in and they're looking at your thumbnail, are they going to know what you're selling? If they see your thumbnail, they see your title, are they going to want to click into your show? I mean, that's something you always have to be thinking about is, okay, if they see like, especially now, you know, we're up to like 10 live shows happening at the same time, which is wild. But you have to think in terms of there's 10 live shows happening right now. My thumbnail is in a mix of 10. If they're looking at those 10 thumbnails, are they going to look at my thumbnail, know what I'm selling, and are they going to click on it? So make sure that you know, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with using the generic thumbnails every now and then. I mean, if you're in a rush and you're like, here's a generic thumbnail, like, but even the generic thumbnails that I've made, right on the thumbnail, I say jewelry or I say variety so that people know what is happening in that show. Because I've made all of those generic thumbnails for you guys, but I tried to include on the thumbnail what is in the show for you to use it, but also for people to know when they're just looking at the thumbnail what's going to be in the show. So make sure that you're thinking that through when you're creating your thumbnails and when you're titling your sales. One thing we talked about was maybe including your name in your stream. So like, you know, jewelry with so-and-so. So when we boost it on Facebook, it carries over that title, and it'll say jewelry with so-and-so. So when we've boosted it, it includes your username over on Facebook. So if we boost it to Crazy Lamp Lady, we don't boost everyone to Crazy Lamp Lady. It's kind of like a hit or miss. On big events like the paperweight train, we were trying to boost as many as possible. Obviously, if you were on an Android, we couldn't boost you. If you were playing music, we were less likely to boost you. Or if we weren't available to boost you, we couldn't boost you because it's all done manually. But we tried to boost as many as possible to the Crazy Lamp Lady page during the paperweight train. So if you include your username in the title, that will at least get you some promotion on because that'll bring in like sometimes 70 extra viewers, and your name will get in front of them. And also, if we're boosting to Facebook, a lot of the times after the sale is done, we remove it, just because it does create some clutter on the Crazy Lamp Lady page. So we do remove them sometimes after we've posted them. When we've boosted them. So once the sale concludes, sometimes we'll start deleting them. So just so you know, if you're like, oh, I thought it was boosted, and then you don't see it, that's what's happened. Like, especially on a big event where we're boosting like multiples in a row, afterwards we'll go through and we'll start deleting. So it's not all cluttered up on Crazy, but we will leave all of them on Niknax. It's different. So there's that. All right, let's see. Oh, one thing we did want to include is, as far as paperweights, we did really well this event. Everybody had enough items for their time slots, which was awesome. There were a few times we were a little bit nervous as a moderator and admin team. We were like, oh no, are they going to have enough? We were a little nervous, but we were watching, we were ready to jump in. We had plans in place, like, okay, if they run out of items, so-and-so can co-host, we can do this. We have that, so we had ideas of how to, fix and like get on and maybe, but everybody had enough items. I think everything ran smoothly. I know Claudine, Christina says kudos to Claudine. Claudine had a few hiccups, but she kept her cool. She did an awesome job. Christina jumped right in there. She was able to run the items that wouldn't run, and altogether, I think it went okay. Christina in the background, Claudine, talking about the items, and as a team, Saint Christina of Niknax. Saint Oz Christina of Niknax. They made an amazing team. They pulled it off. Meanwhile, I'm out at like the cider place with essentially no signal, and Christina's like sending group chats, and she's like, Claudine can't run her items. And like, so I see the message like 30 minutes later. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what do you mean she can't run her items? I'm like, is there still an issue? And she's like, no. And then she's like, yes. And I'm like, do I need to call Sienna? She's like, yes. So I'm calling Sienna. She doesn't answer. I'm calling Eddie. I'm like, Eddie, Claudine's live. She can't run. And then Eddie pops in. Like, it was a whole thing behind the scenes. It was like a whole thing. But you know what? We got through it. It worked. Claudine got through her sale. She sold some paperweights, and we were able to raid into the next person. And I'd say it was successful. I hope Claudine feels the same. It was her best sale ever. There you go. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Eddie even bought it. And Eddie even bought a paperweight. I'm sure it'll have a place of honor on his desk. And he'll be like, this was the time during the paperweight sale when Jocelyn called me in a panic. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's not working. And then he'll always look at it and remember. It'll be like a memento. Remember when? Yeah. I'm kind of wishing I had bought a paperweight, actually. And then I could remember. But I probably will always remember that moment. All right. So, let's see. So make sure, I don't know if we're going to make this like a guideline for Niknax events. We kind of talked about it maybe, but listing a certain number of items, like say if you have a 30-minute time slot, like requiring that you have 20 items in your catalog, like 20 items ready to auction, because we'd rather you have too many items than too little items. So like, you know, have 20 in there, because usually in a half hour you can run through like 15. But if you have 20, then there's like a buffer. So we might consider that, like just having like a guideline of this is how many you should have going forward through for Niknax events. But yeah, you got through 20. Okay. So maybe like 30. Yeah. 45 for 30 minutes. Oh my God. You must be like super speedy. I'm like, I've got 12 for 30 minutes and I might get through them. And then I don't. So I'm very slow. All right. We'll figure it out. But I think like, making sure that everybody has, you see me on the move. I think that making sure everybody has enough is important, because like then us as the team aren't panicking, and then you as the seller aren't panicking, and you know what the expectation is to have a certain number of items, and you can feel comfortable knowing, okay, I have enough, and then you know everybody's feeling good about it. So that's important. Let's see. Next on the list. Remember, I talked about this last week. There are no friends in auctions. We talked about this last week. No friends in auctions. You don't have to apologize if you bid against somebody. You don't have to hold back from bidding just because you know your online friend is bidding on something. If you want something, I'm sure, like, you know, if Sandy wanted something and I wanted something, I'm going to be like, sorry, Sandy, I need this in my life. And I know she'll understand. I know she will understand. And so I think it's yeah, sorry, not sorry, Sandy. I need this in my life, and it is what it is. And she's gonna forgive me. And I feel like it should just be a general understanding that that's how it's gonna be. So let me just see. I had to check that real quick. Okay. All right. Let me go back to my notes. So that is your reminder. It's like roller derby. Yeah, you might come out with some bruises, some bumps, maybe a broken arm or two, some, you know, a broken rib. But at the end of the day, we're all friends here. And, you know, there will always be another one, you know, most of the time, unless it's one of a kind. And then maybe you'll never speak to each other ever again. Okay. So, tagging is very important. So I want to make sure that when you guys are, and if you notice, if you are on the new listing flow, you will notice that it is no longer called tagging, and that is very purposeful. And I think because tagging kind of confused a lot of people. So when they were designing the new flow, I was very adamant about, it's not tagging. Don't ever call it tagging ever again. It's categorizing. It's collecting. It's putting it into a collection, but it's not tagging. And so we now have this new terminology where when you are listing an item, it is now called collections. So when you are listing an item on the new listing flow, I'm not sure if everybody's on the new listing flow now or not, but when you are listing the item, once you put in all the information at the very bottom, you have this drop down, and you have collections. It's no longer tagging. We're going to get rid of that. We're no longer tagging things. We're putting them in collections, what are essentially putting them into categories. We are putting them into categories. And so we are categorizing the items. And so make sure you are categorizing them correctly. All right. Make sure you are categorizing your items correctly. Oh, thank you for purchasing coffee. As a reminder, guys, I've got items from all over the marketplace in my buy it now. I've got some really fun ones today. I have 80, including some coffee. But I went through the marketplace and I pulled up some really fun stuff. And it took me a while to add all those things. So at least browse through them. At least like do some browsing. When are new categories coming? Okay, so Sienna and I are going to be working on those in the next couple weeks. We are going to be working on editing and messing around with the categories. That is actually on the to-do list for the next couple weeks is to, we're going to be removing some categories. Look, awesome, fantastic. Thank you for your purchase. Oh yeah, the Artisania. We are going to be removing some categories. We're going to be fine tuning some categories. We're going to be like paring them down and doing some maintenance on the categories. So that'll be happening very soon. Yeah, categories and that is one of the things I have been harping on, is categories and subcategories. Absolutely. I have been all about that. And I think there's going to be some function of that. It's not necessarily going to be categories and subcategories, but it's going to be a function of that, is what they've explained to me. So they've shown it to me, but it's not really clicking in my brain. So they may have to show me a few more times before I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. But they did tell me that was a thing. All right. So we've got some fun stuff coming up. Let's go over that real quick. On Thursday, we are having a costume and candy corn train. It is a costume contest. It is happening on Halloween. I'm a little bit bummed out that I cannot partake, but it is on Halloween and it kicks off right at trick or treat. And if I don't take my children trick or treating, I will be a bad mom. So I have to go trick or treating. But I think it's going to be amazing. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be fantastic. So essentially, even if you are not on this train, please, like, you are more than welcome to pop on Halloween, wear your costume, sell some Halloween stuff. Like, I want everybody to just have fun. It's Halloween. So like, live your best life, get some dry ice in a cauldron and like put on the spooky lights and like have a good time. Like, live your best life. So we are having a train. It's kicking off at 6 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be 15-minute slots. Okay. So it's going to start at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to jump between, I did not see the paperweight costume. I did not. Okay. I'm going to have to go back and look. I'm going to go look. I did pop in though. Maybe I was on the back end. So you must not have been, were you wearing it the whole sale? I think when I popped in, you were wearing a hoodie. Okay, I'm gonna go rewatch. At the beginning. That's what it was. It was at the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna go rewatch because I'm like, wait a second, I was there, but I wasn't there at the beginning. Okay. All right. So, 15-minute time slots. And the train is full, but like, if you want to pop on during the day, if you like, just have fun with it. There is a costume contest chat channel that is open to all members. It's not just those who are on the train. It is open to all members. So if you look over in the chat channels, let me see. Let me pull it up. I had a hard time finding it last week, but I got this. So it's open to all members. So if you are a buyer on Niknax, if you are just a community member, maybe you've never bought anything, you're just a community member. If you are a seller, if you are just here on Niknax hanging out, it is open to you. You are more than welcome to participate. I'm going to show you right now. It is down here. It should say vote here, right? Somewhere. Oh, vote here, costume contest. So this is the chat channel with the little spooky ghost. So we're going to click on that. And here are the rules and the guidelines for entering the costume contest. So you have to send one photo to Christina's email, not through DM, to her email. You have to send it to her email. Family friendly, please. We're not using it as an excuse to dress up like a hussy. We're going to do family friendly only costumes. All right. Family friendly only. You have to send it. Do we have a time frame that you have to send it by, Christina? Gather entries starting October 31st until November 4th. Okay. So you have until November 4th to send your entries. That's her birthday. And you have until 11:59 Eastern to send them in, okay? Listen, I didn't know how to say it nicely, so I just said it out loud. All right. So get your costume entries in, and you're going to send them to Christina at her email address if you want to participate. Okay? Lots of fun. I think I might even get in on this one. I might have to get in on, because I missed the zoo contest, and I was kind of bummed that I didn't, because I had an idea to like wear like a zookeeper costume and get in on that. Like, oh, I'm the keeper of the zoo, because you know I'm the marketplace owner, and I totally missed opportunity, and I was really bummed about it. So this time around, I might just have to. So if I'm honestly gonna come dressed as myself, I'm not gonna answer that. You make that call, Junk Monkey. You make that call. How about a floozy? All right, moving on. Remember we talked earlier about the chat digressing. I mean, technically that was my fault. I did that. All right, let's see. All members of the costume contest. Yes. Okay, November 7th and 8th. Are we Charlene's like, I just came back. Are we in left field? Yes, but it was my fault. I said the word. I derailed the chat. All right, so November 7th through 8th is our Niknax Speakeasy. And the inspiration for this was I've been thinking a lot about, okay, what does the younger generation like vibe with? You know, I'd love to like figure out what they're in. I know what they're into. One of the things they're into is barware. You know, I was talking to Christina about this, and I'm like, okay, when I'm at Goodwill, what is it that the younger generation is buying? Clothes, records, barware. They're buying necessities. They're buying things that are necessary, but also trendy and cool looking. So that's kind of like what inspired this train, was like, let's do barware. But something also to remember is like when they're buying these things, like it's also at a reasonable price point. So make sure that like when you're loading your sales and stuff, that, I mean, you're keeping things at like at a reasonable price. It's okay to like mix stuff in that's like that's like, you know, higher price points, but like keep it reasonable. I mean, that's the audience we're trying to attract here, is a different demographic. To find younger generation, I'd say like 20 to 30, maybe even like mid 30s. Like 20s to mid 30s. I mean, that, yeah, barware. I mean, we're not doing the clothes thing because that's completely out of my element. Maybe in the future we'll do records. That's also out of my element. I'll have to tag it on one of those. Include late. Okay, yeah, late 30s too. Yep. Yeah, we'll throw you in there too. We'll say 20s to mid 30s, and then late 30s. Also, like mid 30s, and then we'll skip a few, and then late 30s. The closing record. I know. Boho bags. Yes, I get it. I mean, I just like, I'm trying to think of things like, yeah, you know, we got the button, we got the paperweights, but let's bring in some of these youngins, you know. So we'll see if it succeeds. I mean, I'd love to see how it goes. I'm hoping that it is successful, but I mean, I guess we won't know. But one of the fun things about this train is that we're encouraging our participants to also share their favorite beverage recipe. So that doesn't necessarily have to be alcoholic. I missed Andrew's message. What was it? Did Andrew pop in? I don't see anything from Andrew. Oh. He was ISO. Josh, it's Andrew. Oh, it's jumping. I can't I missed it. It's jumping. I can't scroll up. I missed it. And I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh, we're encouraging our sellers to share their favorite drink recipes. And it doesn't necessarily, why is his username? I think maybe you logged into the wrong, you didn't use the right email. I think that's what happened. Yeah, you're not on your email. I'll ask Sienna when I'm done. For right now, you're ISO. I'll refer to you as ISO for the rest of this chat. Okay. So, so you could do like mocktails. You can do alcoholic beverages. You could also do like, I think I shared in one of my YouTube videos how my mom always made like this really fun like fruit punch with the giant punch bowls. You know, and it was like sorbet. I always want to say sherbet, but everybody's always like, it's sorbet. And then ginger ale and fruit punch, you know, and it was a whole thing. Or, you know, so things like that are nostalgic to you. You know, I actually thought that's so funny, Charlene, because I'm like, maybe I'll just pop a bottle of wine and be like, look, here's my drink. Look at this. Because I'm really not, I don't really drink mixed drinks except Moscow mules, but I have no idea how to make them. So I don't know. Well, technically they're mocktails. And actually I'm really like, we're going to derail the chat again. I'm on this new medicine that I'm not really supposed to be drinking technically. So maybe I'll make a mocktail and I'll be like, this is my first attempt. And it'll just be a complete disaster where I spill everything everywhere. And that will be my sale, is my first attempt at making a mocktail. It could be interesting. We could encourage everybody to give it their first try at making a drink. And then it could be it is entertainment. Yes, it is speakeasy and entertainment. And that's the entertainment portion of the sale, is when you have people trying to make drinks that they've never made before. That's actually what the entertainment portion meant when we went that direction. You thought it meant like entertainment, like an event and you're entertaining, but actually it meant like the entertainment is watching people try to make drinks. So, haha. Joke's on you. Okay, so enough about the speakeasy, but I'm really excited for it. It's November 7th and 8th, and I think it's going to be really fun. So I mean, it might even be fun to like start a chat channel and have everybody like maybe share their recipes. You know, yes, Dano is involved in the train, and he is going to make a drink. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what he put down as his drink. I don't know if he just put that, yes, he was making a drink, or if he actually put, so some of our sellers put down what they were making and others just put yes. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. The proper way to open a bottle of champagne. So, yeah, so maybe we should start a chat channel and just like have you guys share your favorite holiday recipes, drink recipes. That could also be really fun. My favorite drink is just seltzer and lime. I mean, that's really all I drink these days. All right, let's see. I think that's really it. So, and then of course we have the costume contest, which I went over with you guys. Courtney Quake. That's good. That's an actual drink. I like it. I have not sold the bird feeder. It is still sitting in on the processing table. It is still attached to that hunk of wood, and I have no idea how it's attached to it. It might be glued. I'm going to have to figure it out. I have to figure out how it's attached and how I could unattach it, because it weighs a ton, and it will 95% certainty break if I try to ship it as it is now. So I have to figure out how to unattach it from the wood, because it does, like, it shifts, and if it like if it vibrates too much against the wood, it's going to break. So I have to figure out how to unattach it. There you go. There he is. He's got us covered. He's got us covered. You know, maybe it's just an issue of like co-hosting. Like when it comes time, if you really don't know, and be like, oh, I'm just gonna co-host Dano. He's gonna demonstrate the drink, and then I'm going to do the sale. He's not only making his own drink, he's then going to make everybody else's drink. You better come up with a few different ideas there. All right. So I think that's it. I think we have like 9 minutes for questions. I don't know if we're doing a raid today. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I got this at the Brevard Zoo. Surprise, surprise. That's where I bought this. I went there and then I bought this sweatshirt. Who's gonna drink it after? I don't know. We do have to be careful around the glassware, though. I will say. Hopefully, we don't have too many broken pieces of barware. Oh, thank you, Mary. All right, we are reading into Haskell's randomness. I appreciate that. Channel created. There you go. We can start sharing our favorite holiday recipes. Yes, it was a great zoo. Yeah, I think we've been there a few times, actually. The kids love going to that zoo. They love going there. Yes, I don't think you can do that, Picker Gems, because it's essentially running it on 2 devices, and it will kick you out. That's my understanding. If you try to open it on an iPad and a phone, I think you can have it on your computer and a phone, but if you try to run it on an iPad and a phone, it will mess you up. Where am I going to list the book? I don't know yet. I do not know. If I'm to list it, it will probably be on Niknax. It will probably be on Niknax. That will likely be where it is. Kayaks. Do they have kayaks at the zoo? Can you like kayak with the alligators like through the... Okay, computer and phone is okay to run at the same time. Where am I going to list the tree I picked up yesterday? What was yesterday's video? Yesterday was Maryland. I don't remember the tree. I literally bought it yesterday, though. It's sitting in the entryway of the store because I had to empty out the rental. So I'm going to see. Shelby has been out the past 2 days, so she hasn't been processing. And I'm going to be the one processing. So, oh, the pearl tree. Yeah, you know, I've got this little like container of pearls. I'm going to glue them back. I'm going to glue them on there. Let me see. Look, I got like a little... I got replacement pearls. I'm just going to glue those on there. I'm going to fix it. And then I'm going to... Oh, kayak through the elephants. That's so much cooler. That's so much cooler than alligators. Probably safer, too. Are we allowed to talk about... Yes, you can talk about your mainly made shows. Absolutely. Go for it. How do bids go up so fast? Well, I think just when I know the answer to this. When somebody enters like a top bid, yeah, custom bid, pre-bids. When they enter a custom bid, it just jumps. Max bids, custom bids, pre-bids, that causes it to jump. Yes. Technically, I didn't need to know the answer because everybody else did. It's like trivia. It's like Niknax trivia. I think that who does the points go to? Who had it first? Mary was pretty quick with an answer, but I think Leopard got the points on that one. I'll have to write that down on my sticky notes. Leopard, 2 points. Leopard got the trivia points on that one. Is your wooden dog 2 parts? Do I have a wooden dog? I don't know about any wooden dogs. I may have one. I probably do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. There were some really incredible weights. Yeah, I don't know, Sam. Here's the thing is I've always wanted to have an MCM category. I want to. I do. I want to have an MCM category. But my problem is that most people don't know what MCM is. That's the problem. Most people don't know what MCM is. They think it's made in the mid-century, and then they tag an MCM, and I'm like, it's not mid-century. And then so I'm spending more time untagging the MCM than it's just, it creates more of a headache having an MCM category. It's a decor type, I know, but most people don't know that. Because I've thought, it would be really cool to have different categories for different styles, like Art Deco, Art Nouveau, slash, just maybe Victorian. No, Art Nouveau. Having having those, but also if we did years, people wouldn't know years either. So and then I thought, okay, well, what if I tag the stuff myself? And then I was like, that would be a lot of work. I don't think I want to do that. So I was like, I don't know. Oh, that's your dog. There you go. Your dog is in the Buy It Now. Oh, for everyone just popping in, there are a ton of really cool items in the Buy It Now. So make sure you go and check them out, because I scoured the marketplace for the cool things in the Buy It Now. What did ISO say? Oh, ISO 243591. Just right. I thought that was Andrew. Old stuff is essentially the whole marketplace. Yeah, I know. Native American question. I think, yeah. Although Native American, Southwest, I feel like people also get those confused. And so I just like, you have to make it simple, is one thing I've learned about these categories, is you have to make it simple, because there's a lot of things tagged paperweights that aren't paperweights. I know, because I was untagging yesterday and I was like, who thinks this is a paperweight? Would it hold paper? Yes. Is it a paperweight? No. So if we can't tag paperweights right, are we going to be able to tag MCM? Probably not. A rock can be a paperweight. Yes, actually, we were using it. It was funny. We had such a successful sale on Saturday. Saturday evening, I was using a large rock as a paperweight, and I had to take a picture of it and send it to Christina and Peter. I'm like, hey, look at my paperweight. Everybody's on Niknax selling amazing glass paperweights, and here I am using a giant rock as a paperweight. I'm like, hey, starting at $10. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Hello. Hey, Jory. Good to see you. Where is that receipt? What receipt? Oh, for the paper. Yeah, it was one of Laurel's rocks. It was like the first rock she picked up when we got there. It was like this big. It was the biggest one. And then after that, they were all smaller rocks, but that was the big one. Is rocks and minerals a category? Yes. Actually, it is. I think it's rocks and minerals. I think that's what we called it. Because I first tried calling it crystals, and then everybody started tagging crystal glass. And I was like, oh, that's not what I meant by it. And so then I had to create another category, and I had to call it minerals and rocks. And then stuff started getting tagged in there that was minerals and rocks. So see, that's the balance. And when I talked to district about like the new categories, I'm like, if we could just put like a little explanation underneath it, like this means these things, that would be helpful. Can we adjust brass vintage glass? Brass vintage. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, like a category for brass and then vintage and then glass, like separately? Oh man, but there's so much to break down in vintage, and then there's so much to break down in glass. Like it's just so broad. Brass, yes. Brass is narrow. I feel like brass is definitely. I mean, we just did metal decor though, because we kind of lump it all in. Can we get a Gold and silver as a color. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Gold and silver. I wrote that down. Stone category. So the stone category technically would be minerals and rocks. I feel like stones and rocks are the same. Junk Monkey, don't challenge me on that. It's all the same. People have said they specifically search for brass. Brass is under metal decor. Brass falls under metal decor. Clear as a color. Well, now we're getting weird. No, I'm just kidding. I wrote it down. I wrote it down, Claudine. Clear. Okay, you got it. It's all rocks. Just ask Laurel. That's what ISO says. Chartreuse. Listen. Plastic decor. Is that what we need? A plastic decor? Lucite? Lucite would technically be plastic. All right. I might do that for you. I might add plastic decor. But listen, I have to figure out first. My name is an ISO. I first have to figure out what we're doing with the categories. And I have my meeting with district at 12:30, and I will figure that I will ask about like when we're doing that, because we're going to be cutting a bunch of them out. We're going to be cutting a bunch of them out. A clear glass category. Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. Clear glass. I'm actually going to write that down. Clear glass. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you created a second account, Andrew. I think that's what happened, but you don't have to argue with me about it. We'll just ask Sienna. All right. So yes. So can we make categories is not a required field? I don't think it should be required. I don't think it is required. Charlene. I don't think it's required at all. Yeah, it's not required. Oh, no. It would never be required. It's never required. It will never be required. But if you are listing by it now, here's the thing. The one thing I asked, and if you're on the new listing flow, you probably have noticed this, is categories is shrunk, like you can't see it. So one thing I have asked is that they make it like open. They open it up so that you can see it. Because one thing I've noticed personally is when I go to list items, I don't see it and I don't think about it. And so I'm listing items and I'm sometimes not categorizing them because it's out of sight, out of mind. So I did ask them to open it up. Mine aren't open. Yeah, I have to expand it. Mine are not expanded. I just have categories and I have no recently used. It's like not even there. So I don't even think about it sometimes, and I'm listing things and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to add categories on those. And if you're not categorizing your items, they are not showing up in the marketplace categories. I've told you guys that before about tags, but now they're categories. If you're not categorizing your buy it now listings, they're not showing up in the categories. So like if right now we have paperweights pinned to the homepage, if you have not categorized your paperweight listing collections, if you have not added your paperweights to the paperweight collection, it is not showing on the homepage under paperweights because it is not in the collection. So you have to be adding your listings to the collection of paperweights. And since it is not expanded in the listing flow, if you're not thinking about it and you're like listing all these things and you're not thinking about it, you could potentially not be on. Can I show you collection? Oh, man, I could try. I think it looks different from the computer though. I don't think it's the same. It's not gonna be the same list item. Let me see. Continue. Yeah, it's different. It's the same. It's the old flow. It's not the same. And I can't show you from my phone because I'm on my phone right now. Wait a second. Oh, shoot. This, I almost fell off the stool. Did you guys see that? I'll show you real quick, and then we got a raid. I'll show you off on this. Oh shoot, that's not the password. Oops. Shoot. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, let me turn you around. All right, so if we're adding this item, collections is not a, it's like, it's down. But here, look, oh my gosh, it's showing recently used. My phone does not have this. My phone does not have recently used. Maybe because I'm adding them directly to the show. I think that's what's going on. I'm adding items directly to the show. And so I don't have that. That's the difference. I'm adding them. I'm not just adding them. I'm adding them directly to the show. So I don't have that. I guess I'm doing a different flow. I don't have recently used. So you have to click that. And this is how mine constantly is. Mine's always like that. That is so weird. All right, I'll talk to Sienna. Yeah, because I don't have recently used. I have to remember to open it up. Here, let me see this. I have an idea. Hang on. Let me do this. Your live streams. Oh, I'm not going to start the one I'm on right now. That would be bad. All right, so if I go to edit live store, if I go to add, so if I'm adding, let's do a live auction. That is so weird. Now it's doing, now it's not, you know, it's just here to prove me wrong, guys. That's basically what's happening. It's just here to prove me wrong. I'm telling you, it's abbreviated for me, okay? But I'm happy to know that it's not abbreviated for you guys. What's an admin category? Oh, are you guys asking about category I have? Oh, yeah, that's a personal category. Yeah, I have tags that you guys don't have. I have all the tags. All right. So on that note, we got a raid. We're 10 minutes late. Let's go see Haskell's. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And make sure you give Haskell some love. I held you guys over to show you that. But yes, go show Haskell some love. Check out the Buy It Now when you get over there. And you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Let's go.